Please be seated. Good morning to each of you, and welcome to the Medical College of Wisconsin Class of 22 graduation. We're extremely excited to be together again in person after several years apart, celebrating these ceremonies in our community. I want to offer a special welcome to those who are joining us by video streaming or those who are engaged clinically and working today and will be watching at a later time. To those folks at home and to all of you, you're very much a part of this important ceremony. None of these graduates are here without you and without your support, the commitment of your time and your education commitment to our students. As we gently pulled from the front, many of you gently pushed and supported from the back. And today we celebrate each of them for the growth and the success they've completed. When these students arrived a few short years ago, they received their white coats. It announced to the world that they were making a choice. They made a choice to devote their studies, their time, quite honestly, their 20s, to growing, to becoming physicians. I assure you that each one of them has earned the title of Doctor of Medicine today. This is their day. We're proud of them. We're here to celebrate that achievement. And we know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, this day is the climax of the coming together of those white-coated students as they cross the stage and receive their diploma. I would now like to introduce Dr. John R. Raymond, Sr., President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, to offer his congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hunsaker, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Members of the Board of Trustees, our healthcare and education partners, to the community of Northeastern Wisconsin, members of the faculty, graduating class of the year 2022, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this 5th commencement ceremony for the Medical College of Wisconsin Green Bay and our first in-person commencement since 2019. To our graduating students, I thank you for your flexibility, maturity, and resilience. We're proud of your response to the unprecedented challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic and to the disruption of your studies over the last 2 years. Thank you for your leadership, your empathy, and your trust in science. And thank you for being champions of rationality and for being extremely caring and compassionate of your colleagues and patients throughout your education. Your white coat ceremony officially marked the beginning of your journey toward becoming physicians. That day was one of the first of many in your career as a physician, and I have no doubt that today, as you formally become our newest physicians, will be among the most memorable. Now I see in your graduating gowns, hopeful and excited about the next steps in your journey. Today's the culmination of your hard work, commitment, and dedication to your medical studies, to each other, to the profession, and to the communities that you have served and will serve throughout your career. But more importantly, it marks the beginning of your lifelong work as healers, as trusted individuals who will elevate the health and the health care of our communities and the world around us. We hope that you, our students, will take pride in what you've accomplished here at MCW Green Bay and will carry forward your founding spirit and fundamental connections to our community and to your medical alma mater. I'm confident that your careers will bring great promise, built upon the wonderful tradition that is MCW and MCW Green Bay. I also hope that each of you will be mindful of the mounting pressures on medicine now and into the future. Remember to live in the moment while you look to the future. Draw strength from your peers, colleagues, friends, the community, and most of all from your families. Make time to refresh, revitalize, and renew your body, your mind, your soul, and your relationships. Maintain your sense of purpose and savor the satisfaction of the privilege and the joy of practicing medicine. Look back, reflect on your accomplishments, and then gaze ahead into your bright futures. On this milestone occasion, I also wish to express my gratitude to all of our partners throughout the region. We couldn't have done it without the entire Northeast Wisconsin community coming together for a common purpose. We thank you not only for embracing our vision, but for building something truly unique that has now become a national model for collaborative medical education. We hope that you'll continue to partner with us as we make this idea one that is sustainable, impactful, and relevant. Graduates, you have our warmest wishes and fondest support. I now would like to introduce Jay Williams, Chair of the Medical College of Wisconsin's Board of Trustees, to offer his congratulations to our graduates.
Good morning. On behalf of the Medical College of Wisconsin Board of Trustees, permit me to extend our sincere congratulations to each and every graduate. We take great pleasure and pride in your singular accomplishments. As you commence your new beginning as physicians, we salute you and wish you well. We know that you will bring great honor both to yourselves and to your alma mater. Again, congratulations and best wishes.
For those of you who are students or families of students here at MCW Green Bay, you know that we think of your time here as a student as certainly formative and leads to your graduation. But an important part of this campus, not only our community partners, but the alumni who've come through this campus. Many of them now are arriving in practice, and several are teaching, several are hosting students. And I would ask now that one of our graduates from the class of 2018, Dr. Matthew Wheeler, to come and share some remarks as an alumnus of this campus. Matt?
Congratulations, class of 2022. From the inaugural class to the 100th student, what a journey it has been. Well done. Thank you, Dr. Hunsaker, for asking me to be here today, and also to the students. I'm here today to give you a charge from the alumni of the Medical College of Wisconsin. It's a simple one. Be a teacher and continue a legacy. Wherever you go in life, take this with you as a representative of MCW, of your residency, your community, but most importantly as a representative of medicine. We're here today to celebrate you, of course. We know this required an unfathomable amount of dedication, commitment, and sacrifice that you've poured into your studies. But in light of my charge to you, I want you to take a moment sometime in the next few days that you get to enjoy in this post-graduation period to think about the same effort that has been poured into you. From the kindergarten classroom to the OChem lab, from bench to bedside to your acting internship. Most of these teachers, it was their job. For many of them, it was their passion. For these final teachers, though, these last few years, those who have taken you from the classroom to the exam room, it was something else altogether. It was their responsibility. It's right there in the Hippocratic Oath that you swore during your white coat ceremony. You are the heir of that lineage, the lineage of knowledge. They were asked and they said yes. Some of them have been teaching medical students from day one here at Medical College of Wisconsin, Green Bay. It's coming up on 7 years of teaching. Many of them do so eagerly. Some say, why not? I'll give it a try. Several, I suspect, are just bad at saying no. And a few, I would imagine, say yes just to stop the incessant emails from Sunny, Susie, Dana, Kelly, Matt, everyone, just to find out there's always more emails. But whatever your reason is going to be, teach. Teach well. We're not all born teachers, but we all have knowledge and experience we can pass along. Spend time over the next few years of your residency watching and learning from the excellent clinical teachers who are going to shape you. See what they do well, not just medically, but pedagogically. See how they evaluate a learner's knowledge and then help fill in the gaps. See how they correct errors and challenge misconceptions. See how they balance oversight and independence. See how they are always learning themselves. Prepare to be a teacher now, because in 3 or 5 or 7 years, when you find yourself in independent clinical practice for the first time, you will need all of these skills and tools in your white coat pocket, ready to go. Graduates of MCW Green Bay are about to be in 15 states and 12 specialties. Who would have thought from the seed of an idea that such a widespread reach would be possible? The medical world, and indeed the whole world, needs engaged teachers. They need you, your experiences, your journey, your passion. Those future doctors in your community, the kids who think practicing medicine is nothing but a dream, they need you. Those medical students who are hungry for knowledge, they need you. The thousands of patients that doctors you will train need you. That's real impact and that's real legacy. Join us, the alumni of the Medical College of Wisconsin. And can I get a thumbs up, Green Bay? Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. It's always a pleasure to have those of you who are graduates back with us. Dr. John R. Raymond joins me at the podium for the awarding of an honorary degree. Will Dr. Ashok Rai and Drs. Joseph Kirshner and Aaron Green please come forward? As MCW considered the idea of building a campus in Green Bay to educate medical students, there was a lot to be done. There was a core group of supporters that provided ideas, enthusiasm, commitment, and most importantly, a can-do attitude that is representative of the spirit of Green Bay. Dr. Rai was one of those early stakeholders that invested the strengths of a thriving health system to partner with his alma mater to build this great school. As the campus launched, we were building new ways of teaching with distance-based equipment, classrooms that had not been done in the way they have prepared here in Green Bay for the arrival of students. We needed to recruit community physicians to serve as clinical teaching faculty. And to be fair, we were building the first whole campus three-year medical school in the United States. To put that in perspective, this was the first new medical school campus to be built in Wisconsin in more than 100 years. I needed help. I needed solid partners to get the job done. I've counted Ashok as an unwavering friend and partner in all of that journey. It was his determination, negotiation, and at times the mature leadership skills he displayed that made medical education a part of the Prevea Health System culture that has been immeasurably woven into the success of this school with many others in the community. At times, MCW Green Bay and me needed an introduction to a physician that was unsure if they could be comfortable teaching as part of their practice. At other times, we've sorted difficult challenges in the local community as part of a dedicated group of individuals who believe in this community. A group of senior leaders that have the interpersonal respect to pick up the phone and focus on the solutions rather than the enormity of some of the challenges we've faced, particularly in the last couple of years. As COVID descended on this community, the rapidly accelerating local case numbers made national headlines, and Green Bay health leaders moved quickly to reduce mortality and ensure students could stay on course in their education. We all started texting, calling, communicating in real time as things unfolded. I had learners, they had patients, they had staff, physicians, employees to keep everything running. Ashok and our other colleagues in this community worked together to preserve equipment, maintain capacity, and continue to care for the community. Ashok was one of the leaders firmly at the center of those efforts. When the first vaccines became available, it had a very specific and very complex handling requirement. Here at MCW Green Bay, I didn't have a -90 freezer but our students needed access to vaccines so that they could stay in training. We needed them to stay in the clinical learning environments. I can honestly say a quick text, a couple of chats, Ashok and his team included our students in Purveya's earliest program to vaccinate healthcare workers. Indeed, graduates, your education stayed on time and occurred in clinical offices in this community because of the emergent reply to the vaccine availability question for MCW Green Bay. The request was answered simply, yes, we'll work together and find a way. You need about 100 doses over there? Yes, that's what I need. Thank you, Ashok, for delivering on that promise. Those doses kept this school open, kept our students, our staff, our faculty moving forward. While you students were learning, some of your colleagues across the country were benched, sent home to read books, use internet cases. You stayed in the clinics. We kept you as close to the action as we could with the amount of equipment available. And for that, you arrive here today well-trained, hands-on, one-on-one with the docs. Ashok's work, his partnership, continues to be the commitment that the Purveya team he leads have made to the school and each of us at MCW Green Bay. I would say at times honorary degrees are for good work and service to the community at large. Today, it's for a very tangible service to these graduates and this school. Ashok is a graduate of MCW, but today he gets a special degree in recognition of the work in helping us build this campus and get us through the most difficult time in our short history. As most of the first decade has unfolded, we stand here today, you've heard it, but I'll say it again. The 100th graduate will pass across the stage today as part of the 118 that have graduated from this campus. And against the backdrop of an extremely challenging global event, we now have a psychiatry residency in place, a family medicine residency in place, and today will mark that 100th graduate. We did not achieve this alone. It is through audacity, partnership, commitment, and the expertise of our partners, of whom we honor Dr. Rai today. Ashok's leadership, unwavering commitment to our learners, and the team he leads are all worthy of recognition by this school and this community. The citizens of this state and this region will forever benefit from their commitment to MCW Green Bay and this particular class of graduates. Mr. President, in honor of his service as a valued alumna of the Medical College of Wisconsin and his service to MCW Green Bay as a school and to this community, it is my pleasure to present Dr. Ashok Rai to you as a worthy recipient of an honorary degree of medical science.
Hunsaker. Dr. Ashok Rai, by the virtue of the authority delegated to me upon recommendation of the Commencement Committee and by action of the Medical College of Wisconsin Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medical Science, honoris causa.
Thank you, Dr. Hunsaker and Dr. Raymond. Thank you all for welcoming me here today to help celebrate your incredible accomplishment. I'm deeply honored to be here with my alma mater, the Medical College of Wisconsin, and humbled to receive this honorary degree. As I stand here looking at all of you in your cap and gowns, ready to move on to the next chapter of your journey as medical doctors, I can honestly say this is a dream come true, an actual dream come true. It wasn't too long ago the dream or the hope of developing physicians right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin was anything more than just that. I realized that just recently when I came across a Green Bay Press-Gazette article published in 2009 introducing me as the new president and CEO of Purveya Health. Reporter Rich Ryman had asked me about hopes for the future of local healthcare, and my response focused on the need for more physicians in our community. I'm quoted to say, "We don't train a single physician in this town. we've not taken that next step. The ability to develop and train physicians locally, to encourage more physicians to practice in our region, and to enhance the health that was the collective hope and dream of not only myself, but of healthcare leaders and educators across this state, and especially across this region. Today, thanks to the Medical College of Wisconsin and some of the best academic and medical institutions in this community, that is no longer a hope or a dream. It is a reality. Every single one of you in this room, from our new medical graduates to the physicians, educators, leaders, and loved ones who helped shape who you are today, are a dream come true, not only for Green Bay and its surrounding communities, but for all the lives that you will undoubtedly impact. Your very existence here today and the decisions and paths that led you here will improve the quality of life and, in many cases, change and save the lives of countless individuals. So when you're asked to be part of something like this, to deliver a keynote address for your alma mater, and to a group of medical school graduates ready to put their mark on the world, you want it to be memorable and impactful. Well, what better way than to share your wisdom and lessons you've learned along your own journey in medicine? I've learned a lot through my practice in medicine, from my time as a student with the Medical College of Wisconsin, to a physician resident in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and as a hospitalist caring for some of the sickest patients right here in Green Bay. As you can imagine, my time as a healthcare leader for the last 13 years, 2 of them during the first pandemic today's world has ever experienced, has also taught me very many valuable lessons. Today, that was my intent, to talk about what I've learned as a physician and health leader. It was a great plan. I had the whole speech in my head. And then my life changed forever. Just a few months ago, and even more recently, 5 weeks ago, when I underwent a major medical procedure to repair my heart. You see, my greatest lessons thus far come to me not as a physician or a healthcare leader, but now as a patient. It was this past February that I had an appointment for an echocardiogram to follow up on a previous diagnosis of mitral valve regurgitation. That was discovered back in November of 2020. That was after knowing I had mitral valve prolapse about 22 years ago. I was supposed to have scheduled my repeat echo in November of 2021, not in February of 2022. But I delayed it because I had a million reasons and a lot of excuses. And like so many others in the midst of a full-blown pandemic, I also wasn't taking proper care of my overall health. Ultimately, this had consequences, and I learned that I would need surgery to repair my mitral valve within weeks to prevent worsening decompensation of my heart function. Just when I thought needing heart surgery so soon was bad enough, a preoperative workup revealed I was also a diabetic and had early complications of it. In full disclosure, I had learned years ago that my blood sugars were a little higher than they needed to be, but I always thought, I'm fine, I'm an internist, I'll know when I'm a diabetic. I'll know when something is off. As it turned out, my most recent labs revealed that my fasting blood sugar was over 300 and my hemoglobin A1C was over 10. I'm a little on the sweet side. My little theory of I'm a well-trained internist and I'll know when I'm a diabetic had failed miserably. It felt, though, as if the bad news would not stop coming. And so at this point, I'm begging my fellow physicians and partners to stop running tests on me because I can't take any more bad news. Turns out my other theory that I'm the CEO, they'll stop delivering me bad news, wasn't correct either. In all honesty, though, I was experiencing a lot of heavy emotions during that time. I was angry at the world, and even angrier at myself, because if anybody should know the consequences of delaying care and not taking care of oneself, it's a doctor, right? Another theory that went out the door. I was also really scared. As a physician, I knew what my surgery would entail, but the thought of it being my heart that was stopped, my chest that would be cut open, and my family that would be impacted was an entirely different ballgame. These are raw emotions that as a practicing physician, I'm not sure I ever truly took into consideration that my own patients might be feeling. Despite how scary this experience was for me, I'm incredibly grateful for my health today. It is in a much better place thanks to physicians who, like you will be doing here today, took an oath to improve the quality of and save lives. As physicians, we should never stop learning. And so I am grateful for all that I've learned and been reminded of during this experience. So here are 3 things I hope you all can take away from this, and that I hope will inspire you going forward in your own practice. First, please never forget to take care of yourself. Not only have you and so many around you have invested into your success, but someone whose job it is to care for others, you need to be strong and healthy first. And never ignore or put off your own medical concerns, no matter how skilled or knowledgeable you think you may be. Walk the walk, talk the talk, and do exactly for yourself what you would want for your patients. They are counting on you, and so are we. Second, recognize the sheer impact your diagnosis and your words may have on your patients. The fear we unknowingly instill in patients is something I don't think we recognize enough. I think we have an idea or a thought they might be scared, but do we really know how scared they are and how all-consuming it can be? Understand that once your patient leaves the room after learning difficult news, that they're going to forget about 90% of what that you told them and start searching Google in a panic, looking for answers. If you're wondering if I did the same thing when I was delivered bad news, you're right, I went to Google. In recognizing the impact on your patient, please take the time to connect with them, not just right there in that moment, but also perhaps in the days following. Take 5 to 10 minutes to reach out to them, acknowledging the impact this has likely had on them. Figuratively, wrap your arms around them. Let them know that you see them and that you hear them, and that you will do everything you can to help them navigate this diagnosis, whether that's diabetes, heart disease, or maybe an injury to an athlete that may never compete again. Every one of our patients needs us. Be there for them. As a health leader, I've always asked everyone to understand that no matter what role you have within the organization, the patient across from you or on the other line is likely having a worse day than you. They might be sick or hurt. They could have recently received some bad news, or they might be worried you're going to give them bad news. Realizing and knowing that, and showing true care and empathy, is something I hope you will all take with you going forward in your practice. And last but not least, don't just practice medicine. Get in there and lead it. Take the knowledge and skills you've gained and that all too important oath that you're about to take, and apply it not just to the exam room, but in the boardroom as well. As someone who will learn on the front lines of patient care, examining, diagnosing, and cultivating relationships with patients, sharing in the joy and sometimes the grief of patients and their patients' loved ones, and experiencing firsthand how healthcare policies and procedures impact your practice and your patients, your voice will be critical in shaping those policies, procedures, and best practices. As a physician, a CEO, and as a recent patient, this has become so clear to me. In 21 years of practice, I have witnessed firsthand how decisions made by well-meaning leaders who have never taken the oath or sat at the bedside will never be as patient-focused as they should be. Yes, medicine has become a business, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be led by those who have sworn to do the right thing. Now, I'm not asking you all to go into clinical administration like I have, but I still do practice. What I'm asking for you to do is to advocate for your patients as a leader. Stand up to those who haven't done what we do. Lead in every capacity that you can. My former, now retired board chair once said to me, the farther the decision made from the bedside, the worse the decision will be. Let those words guide you not only into a vibrant clinical practice, but hopefully in some way, you'll also take the charge to lead in healthcare. Even if you can inspire the smallest change, you can and you will make a difference for your practice, your partners, and your patients. Again, thank you for this incredible opportunity here today, and to the Medical College of Wisconsin Green Bay class of 2022, congratulations. We are so proud of you, and on behalf of the healthcare community here in Northeast Wisconsin, thank you for making our dreams come true.
Thank you, Ashok. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and thanks again for your leadership and for all of our partners in the community who've made days like this possible in Green Bay. As I reflect on the journey these graduates have made, their growth as individuals, scientists, and doctors, despite the pressures and rigors of medical school that at times included personal struggles, loss of loved ones, grandparents, parents, they've supported each other as a class. They've cared about each other. Each of you has cared about them. These graduates have not only excelled in their studies, but also in their leadership and service of others, their work in the community. To the parents, families, and friends of the graduates, as I said earlier, thank you for all your support. I've gotten to know some of you. At times we've talked in emergencies and other things where you needed your student, your graduate today, to know that you loved them and cared about them. And to you, this degree means as much as it does to them. Thank you for that. You welcomed them home when they were weary from the demands of medical school that we placed on them. You renewed their spirit, encouraged them to stay the course, even when the journey was hard, the pandemic deep, and the questions mostly unanswered. You were there for them. You provided a listening ear when they needed to share their frustrations and challenges, and you were the sounding board for their deepest questions about the future and can I go on one more day? The answer was yes, and this is why they stand here today, ready to become physicians. To the families, to the graduates, you have been and always will be part of MCW Green Bay and the family here in this community. To the graduates, we're exceedingly proud of you. We're excited to watch your careers launch. And you've achieved this day through perseverance, innovation, learning to communicate at the most difficult times in the most effective ways. When you look to your left, you look to your right, see those who arrived with you. You've taken the tests, you've learned the materials. What you make of your career now depends on each of you. Today, the road departs in many different directions, but bound together by one theme, graduates of this program. You'll be called on to listen to your patients, apply your knowledge, and exercise your judgment. Do that with all the tools, the honor, the respect, and courage that we've instilled in you and work with you to develop. I'm confident that you will lead the way with honor. And as a med school, we continue to grow and pursue excellence, and you'll be a part of that tradition and that story. Your endurance, determination, and devotion are the fuel for the fire of medicine that burns brightly here today. You are the future. You are our hopes for the future. As Dr. Wheeler suggested, and I would ask you again, please teach. It's part of the tradition of medicine to provide those who come after you with guidance, counsel, and mentorship. As I watched for so many of you, you needed that mentorship, that relationship, that encouragement, how to find the way forward to your future. Please honor that by participating with others in the future. Our service and teaching of others is dedication to the profession of medicine, but also to humanity. The physicians and teachers gathered here today, they've invested in you. They're representative of the community and the people who went the extra mile to have a student in the office. Honor them by doing the same. Take a student. Apply what you've learned. And as Dr. Rai so aptly said, your patients will only care what you know when they know that you care. Graduates, again, I'm incredibly proud of each and every one of you and what you've accomplished. It is my distinct pleasure to have served as the dean for your class, and on behalf of MCW, the Green Bay community, our deepest congratulations. I would now ask that Matthew Waldrop join me on the stage and speak on behalf of the class of 2022. Matt.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for being a part of this very special day for each of us. I first want to start off by thanking my parents and my girlfriend, Emily, for their constant support and encouragement. My parents were my greatest role models, and I would not be standing here today if it wasn't for them. I would like to thank our faculty and staff for their endless hours of hard work to help us achieve this amazing accomplishment. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my classmates. Thank you for being the tight-knit group I was hoping to find at the beginning of medical school. Thank you for working together, having each other's backs, and of course, commiserating about exams. And thank you for giving me the great honor of speaking at our graduation ceremony. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with the metaphor about medical school and eating your pancakes, but for those of you who aren't, I'll explain. You see, medical school is like eating pancakes. Every single day, you have 5 pancakes on your plate to eat. If you don't eat all 5 that day, whatever is left over gets added on to the 5 for the next day. So if I only eat 2 pancakes today, I must eat 8 tomorrow. It may seem like eating 5 pancakes a day is doable, but if you take one weekend off, you're up to 15 pancakes on Monday. Reflecting on our medical school experience, I decided to make a few revisions to this pancake dilemma. While doing so, I learned 4 things I'd like to share with each of you to take with you into your future careers. Lesson number 1, don't forget the maple syrup. One of the greatest demands medical school required of us was our time. It was easy to be overwhelmed by the sheer mass of content, spending most of your time studying so you wouldn't get too far behind. But your gas tank can run out quickly that way. I learned promptly that I needed to make time for myself to do something fun, to do the things that make me, me. Whether that be watching sports, playing video games, spending time with classmates, playing volleyball, bowling, or even just talking, sharing our frustrations and our triumphs. I needed that time set aside to recharge my batteries. Residency will come with its own new set of challenges and time constraints. Classmates, keep making time for things you are passionate about, the things that make you, you. That is the sweet and sugary coating on top of those pancakes that will give you enough energy to persevere through the challenges of residency. Lesson number 1, don't forget the maple syrup. Lesson number 2, there's more than one way to eat a pancake. The COVID-19 pandemic has required us to be more flexible than any other cohort of medical students in recent history. From completely transitioning to an online curriculum in the matter of a week, to the cancellation of core medical student events, we still did it. We completed a majority of medical school during a global pandemic. If you read that headline to me 3 years ago, I would have thought it was some new Netflix show coming out. But that became our reality. Although residency may not require that level of flexibility, the importance of that concept still remains. There will be twists and turns in the road for each of us. Use what this pandemic has taught you to be flexible when faced with these uncertainties. Oh, and did I mention, we had to learn how to eat pancakes with masks on. Lesson number 2, there's more than one way to eat a pancake. Lesson number 3, pancake eating is a team sport. The medical field is filled with amazing people. Whether it be in the classroom or clinic, we've all had the opportunity to meet some great leaders and role models, people that go above and beyond to help train the next generation of physicians. Pretty soon, we will be relied on for these responsibilities. As you go forward, be curious, ask questions. Your attendings, your co-residents, the nurses, PAs, NPs, they all have their own rich set of experiences. Do not be afraid to use that, no matter how trivial your questions may feel. Lesson number 3, pancake eating is a team sport. Lesson number 4, why are you eating so many pancakes? I feel like that's a valid question to ask if you ever saw someone consistently eating around 5 pancakes a day. So for me, I get an emotional high feeling like I made a difference in my patient's care. And as a medical student, that ranged from all the way from grabbing my patients a warm blanket, all the way up to developing an entire plan of care with my attending. That's my why. That's why I wanted to care for patients in the first place. When I'm on my overnight ER shift at 3 in the morning, that's what gives me the rush of adrenaline to keep me going. Well, that and the 2 thermoses of coffee I already drank. Remind yourself regularly of the reasons why you started down this path in the first place. Whether that be a daily affirmation, a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, or a daily reminder on your phone. Allow that to be the fuel that drives you to be a better physician every day. Lesson number 4. Why are you eating so many pancakes? As we sit here, after consuming well over 5,000 pancakes each, and yes, I did do the math, I have 2 final parting words for you. First, I am so proud of all of you. I am truly honored to be your colleague and your friend. And I cannot wait to see the difference each and every one of you makes in the lives of your patients. And finally, 5,000 pancakes. That's a lot of pancakes. Coming from a family medicine resident, I strongly encourage all of you to schedule an appointment with your primary care provider for diabetic screening. Thank you. I now wish to welcome to the podium Dr. Joseph E. Kirschner, Provost and Executive Vice President of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and the Julia A. Uline, M.A. Dean of the MCW School of Medicine, to share some remarks to the graduates and to the administer the Physician's Pledge.
Thanks so much, Matt. That was really a great set of comments from you, and just maybe a little bit of a hard act to follow. But graduates, family members, loved ones, members of the Board of Trustees, President Raymond, faculty, staff, and guests, this is truly a momentous occasion. Congratulations. I really have enjoyed all of the speeches that have been delivered here this morning. It's been remarkable to sit and reflect on the words that came from graduates today, postgraduates, and from some members of the community, Dr. Rai. As I sit back and think about this a little bit, and Dr. Hunziger and I were sitting around last night after the senior dinner, graduation dinner, and we were just reflecting on the very earliest moments of the idea and the assembly of this medical school here in Green Bay. And we had some just fun conversations about what it took for us to encourage Dr. Hunziger to come to Green Bay and lead this campus, and then put together some of the things that were community involvement as we looked at how to accept our students, and all of the comments that Matt made regarding how we were going to do this type of education here in Green Bay. And it is really remarkable. I just would borrow from Dr. Rai, who said, this is a dream come true. It's a dream come true for all of us who've had a small part in making this a reality. So again, congratulations to you all. While this is certainly not the only defining characteristic of your class, it is undeniable that you are the COVID pandemic graduates. Many of you have spent the majority of your time fighting the pandemic while also getting your education here at the Medical College of Wisconsin. Fighting it literally in your clinical environments, fighting it literally in your research environments, fighting it literally in support of our communities. You've also been fighting the pandemic mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, and in other ways as well. You've also been, you, our graduating class, more so than any other in the history of medicine, have endured a worldwide pandemic and have completed your studies and stand ready to serve the world. You have made it. You have graduated. Your wisdom and effort and spirit and vision have been forged in difficulty and in struggle that not a single educator, not a single person in healthcare would have envisioned. I'm going to offer a hypothesis for you that I believe will be borne out and proven in the decades to come. This hypothesis is that you, the physicians who graduate this year, having endured all that you have, but achieving still all that you have, will form the greatest generation of healthcare providers that the world has ever seen. How can I be so confident? Because if you study the history of humanity, the history of the world shows us that uncommon success in the face of unique challenges results in the development of personal attributes and selflessness and human interactions that produce uncommon and unique abilities to solve problems and care for the world. The truth is that when humans endeavor toward noble goals, and you have each committed yourself to noble goals, and encounter unforeseen, and some would say insurmountable obstacles, and yet still achieve those goals, there's a growth and development in character, spirit, caring, empathy, creativity, and humanism that simply does not occur under less extreme conditions. You will dream, achieve, and soar in many ways, in part because of what you've endured to get to this space. I know that it has not been easy, but you have made it. You are the embodiment of success. I hope that you are able to feel a sense of pride at this moment, not any false pride, but a real emotional connection with what it means to face stiff odds and to say, I can and I will. Please take a moment now, pause. In our busy world, we don't take enough pauses. Pause and think of one word, one sentence, that sums up your feelings and emotions at this exact moment. When you get a chance, write down that word, write down that sentence about how you feel. Return to it periodically, every year, perhaps, when you think of your graduation. Hopefully at least every 5 years when you're invited back to MCW to celebrate with your classmates at a reunion. But return to that thought because it is the essence of your achievement and of who you are today and who you will become in the future. Also, take a moment to jot down something about those who have journeyed with you to this day. Return to these words periodically and make the physical act of thanking those individuals, not only today, but at times into the future as well. None of us, not even the greatest generation of healers, can achieve these heights without the help of others. Please make sure we hear from you often as you go forward. Please send me the examples of how you are proving my hypothesis true as you move forward as the greatest generation of healers. I look forward to a brighter future because of what you have done and what you will continue to do as MCW alumni. Congratulations to you all again. At this time, I would like to ask the candidates for the degree of medicine to please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me the Physician's Pledge, the Declaration of Geneva. All right, we're going to do this together, so you just read it right with me as you see it up there. As a member of the medical profession, to dedicate my life to the service of humanity through the art of science and medicine. The health and well-being of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patients. I will value the individuality of my patients and care for them to the best of my ability. I will safeguard the confidentiality of my patients. I will practice my profession with conscience and integrity and in accordance with medical standards. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the community and the improvement of healthcare. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities so that I'm able to provide the best care for my patients. I will engage in honest self-reflection upon my character acknowledging both my strengths and limitations. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights or civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Please be seated. I now invite Dr. Raymond back to the podium for the conferral of the Doctor of Medicine degree. President Raymond, on behalf of the faculty of the Medical College of Wisconsin, I present these candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine and recommend that this degree be conferred upon them.
Thank you, Dr. Kirschner. Candidates, soon to be graduates, by the authority delegated to me by the MCW Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Medicine and pronounce you graduates of the Medical College of Wisconsin and welcome you as peers and colleagues into our profession. Graduates, please come forward to receive your academic hood and your diploma.
Graduates, as I call your name, please proceed to center stage to be hooded. After your hooding, please remain at center stage to accept your diploma. Dr. Patrick Best, hooded by his preceptor, Dr. Paul Anderson. Dr. Marissa Seapress, hooded by her mentor, Dr. Molly Kleiman. Dr. Mary Daly, hooded by her preceptor, Dr. Tim Misbach. Dr. Rima Datunarachi, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Jake Deverly, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Greta Fritz, hooded by her mentor, Dr. Jennifer Milosavljevic. Dr. Nicholas Gibson, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Charles Gusho, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Timothy Guthrie, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Kayla Holthouse, hooded by her mother, Dr. Suzanne Holthouse. Dr. Molly Kadlik, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Rebecca McCullough, hooded by her spouse, Dr. Joshua McCullough. Dr. Jamie Nelson, hooded by his father, Dr. Scott Nelson. Dr. Carly Payton, hooded by her uncle, Dr. David Payton. Dr. Nicole Petka, hooded by her mentor, Dr. Matthew Goldblatt. Dr. Brittany Rupp, hooded by her friend and MCW Green Bay alumna, Dr. Jenna Lentz. Dr. Brittany Schultz, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Thomas Schultz, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Amelia Shirky, hooded by her cousin, Dr. Christy Mitchell. Dr. Alexander Schwartz, hooded by his mother, Dr. Laura Vogel Schwartz. Dr. Rachel Seiler, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Caitlin Sonnentag, hooded by her mentor, Dr. Andrew Kastenmeier. Dr. Haley Sprangers, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Nathan Steidel, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Kristen Tischer, hooded by her mentor, Dr. Jennifer Milosavljevic. Dr. Nigel Tudo, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Matthew Waldrop, hooded by his mentor, Dr. Jeremy Metzler. Dr. Jacob Wilcox, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Dr. Samantha Waller, hooded by Dr. Aaron Green. Congratulations to the graduates. As a member of our MCW Green Bay faculty and recipient of Faculty Award last evening, I would now invite Dr. Rishi Subbarayan to the podium to say a few words. Rishi?
Class of 2022, congratulations. Today, you are doctors. Savor that. Take your last name, add doctor in front of it. Ah, that feels good. Now back to reality. You have oodles to learn about clinical medicine. You're up to your eyeballs in debt. You just signed up for 3 to 7 years of hard labor. Congratulations. I fondly recollect my medical school graduation day. I was basically living in squalor in a small apartment in Kent, Ohio. I was getting ready to move to a somewhat disreputable neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was totally broke. It was the best time of my entire life. Almost 15 years later, I have an amazing wife, kids, and the privilege of being a vascular surgeon in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I get to work with the outstanding medical students at MCW Green Bay. More often than not, a student rotates with me and I'm left thinking, that student was a way better medical student than I ever was. When Dr. Hunsicker asked me to speak, it gave me a welcome opportunity to reflect on my profession. Being a physician is not a job title, it's a lifestyle. It permeates your essence. It's an intrinsic component of your being. You will find yourself thinking about your patients at odd hours of the day and night. You will discreetly look at the EMR on your phone. For better or worse, it will impact your relationships with your family, your friends, and society in general. Devote your life's work to your patients. Do not forget to take care of your own body and mind. Medicine is filled with tangibles and intangibles. You can know the data, practice your craft, but medicine is an art. Artwork is much harder to quantify than medical literature. Use clear and simple explanations. Sit eye to eye with your patient. Touch their shoulder. Hold their hand. No book can teach this. You will have good outcomes and bad outcomes. You will shed tears of joy. You will shed tears of sorrow. The abstract nature of medicine sometimes means limited control over our outcomes. This can take an emotional toll. Achieving balance is part of the art of medicine. Practicing medicine with compassion and humanity and translating that into your everyday life is akin to creating a work of art. Being a physician allows a unique relationship to your community. You will care for your neighbors, the people you see at the YMCA, the folks at the supper club. Your neighbor's brother will ask you to look at the unsightly mole on his back, even though you're a gastroenterologist. You took an oath to look at that mole. Being a part of a community and simultaneously helping care for your community is a wonderful thing. I urge you to promote health and wellness for your patients, your community, and yourself. This will come full circle when inevitably you yourself and your family will take on the role of patients. I am forever indebted to the midwives and doctors that helped us through the birth of our children, the plastic surgeon who removed a dermoid cyst from my son's face when he was 6 months old, and my primary care doctor who is trying to help me stave off metabolic syndrome. Finally, I must acknowledge the upheaval in medicine. We are weathering a pandemic. It's a difficult time in healthcare. With adversity comes opportunity. You young doctors are our future. You can mold our profession as you see fit. Based on my interactions with all of you, I am confident that the future is bright. Frankly, I'm counting on it. I need someone to take care of me when I get old. Class of 2022, salut.
Well, this is it. This is that moment. For each of you, you entered this room a medical student. You leave this room a medical doctor. This is that moment where you head out, where you change the world. You'll be ambassadors of this profession, this campus, of your families, and of this community. I hope that you'll carry with you a piece of each of your teachers, the knowledge, the advice, the humanistic touch they share with their patients, the warm words they share with others, and indeed the kindness to care about others enough to invest your life in theirs. No more continuous professional development meetings, no more to say, other than that I'm extremely proud of you. We care about you, we look forward to your future, and it has been an amazing group of people to work with, despite the incredible challenges of the last 2 years. With that, I wish you every happiness, every success, peace and health to all who are gathered here today, who made the journey to celebrate this occasion with us. And with that, I believe we owe the class of 2022 one more round of applause. I would ask that the attendees remain seated until the stage party and the graduates have exited. For those who wish to take photos, you can meet your graduate immediately outside the room following the ceremony to take pictures and things. So with that, thank you again, and we'll close this graduation ceremony. Good day to you.